Echoes of Us by Cecilia L. Chiangte, Chapter 12. Echoes of Us. Me and my family planned to go back to Aizawl as soon as exams were done. Robert would also return home, and so would Sophie, Ricky, Jaden, and Timothy. All of us from Mizoram, ready to return to familiar roads and family hugs. Emily, being the only one from Shillong, said she had her own special plan. "I'm coming to visit you all during Christmas," she announced one day during lunch. "I already asked my parents and got permission. I'll be there from December 22nd to 27th. We all cheered. The thought of being together even after school gave us something to look forward to. Then came the final exam. We poured our hearts into those answer sheets, flipped through our minds like books, and when the last paper was collected, it was over. And the best part? We all passed. Not just passed, we did well, every single one of us. There were hugs, laughter, and relief. Our teachers smiled proudly, some classmates even cried. And then, just like that, it was time to go home. Robert's uncle, Mr. Zachary, came to pick him up, and since our families knew each other well by now, we all arranged to travel back together in one sumo. In the front, Dad and Mr. Zachary. In the middle, Adrian, Mom, and my cousins. And in the back, me, Robert, Sophie, Ricky, Jaden, and Timothy, packed like school bag zippers, but full of joy. We sang songs, passed snacks, and talked about how fast the year had flown by. But of course, nothing ever goes quietly when Adrian is around. At one point, he turned back to look at me and Robert sitting side by side, quietly smiling at something only we understood. "So," he said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "are we getting wedding invitations soon, or what?" The whole sumo erupted in laughter. Even Uncle Zachary looked over his shoulder and raised an eyebrow. "Oh, Robert never mentioned that part." Robert just chuckled and shook his head, blushing slightly. I wanted to disappear into the seat. "Whew," I muttered, covering my face, but deep down I was laughing too. Now back in Aizawl, the days feel familiar and slow. There's still a few weeks before Christmas, and we're all counting down. Emily will be arriving on December 22nd, and Sophie already said she'll sleep over at my house the whole week. I can't wait. Because even though school is over for now, our story isn't. But then, tragedy struck. It happened so suddenly, so cruelly, as if life had been waiting for the perfect moment to catch us off guard. That morning, Robert went out to deliver lunch to Mr. Zachary's office, a simple act of love and care he often did without complaint. On his way back, he took a shared taxi, something we all did in Aizawl, casually, routinely. But this time, a speeding motorcycle came out of nowhere and collided with their taxi. We didn't know anything at first. The house was calm. I was sitting on the floor beside the heater, flipping through old school notes when the phone rang. Mom answered. I barely looked up. But then, I saw her face. Her hand clutched the receiver a little too tightly. Her eyes widened, not in surprise, but in something much worse. Pain. She slowly turned to look at me, her eyes filled with pity and fear. "It's Robert," she said, barely above a whisper. "There's been an accident. He's in the hospital. His condition is not good." I didn't move. Not a sound came from me. No scream, no question. I just stood there, frozen as if the world had been put on pause. Like someone had pressed stop on everything bright. My legs felt numb, my thoughts scattered. My heart. It was as if someone had wrapped it in ice. This couldn't be real. Not him. Not Robert. The boy who waited at the gate. The boy who took photos with a camera instead of a phone. The one who laughed gently, blushed when teased, and held a piece of my heart like it was something fragile and sacred. Now he was lying in a hospital bed, fighting. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't cry. I couldn't speak. I just stood there, like a statue made of fear. As soon as the words left my mother's lips, I broke. Tears came rushing like a storm, hot, uncontrollable, full of fear. My hands trembled, my breath came in gasps, and in my chest was a pain I'd never known before. We rushed to the hospital. I sat in the car, staring out the window in silence, praying, whispering, begging. "Please let him be okay. Please, please." When we reached, we ran down the white hallway, and there he was. Robert, lying still on the hospital bed. Machines blinking, oxygen mask covering half his face, bruised, broken, but somehow still him. The boy who once laughed softly beside me under a tree, now unmoving, as if asleep in a world I couldn't reach. The police had caught the motorcyclist. Reckless driving, overspeeding. They said he'd be jailed, but no punishment could undo what had been done. I visited Robert every single day. I brought flowers. I sat beside him. I held his hand. I read to him softly. I whispered all the things I wished I'd said sooner, but he never woke up. There was no improvement. The holidays passed in silence. No joy, no music, no twinkling lights, just the beep of machines and the scent of antiseptic. Then one quiet morning, a few weeks later, he was gone. The world stopped again. But this time, it didn't come back. I cried every day. Everywhere I looked, I saw him. His smile, his voice, the way he stood at the gate waiting, the photo of us at Ward's Lake, the necklace I still wore, mine said love. His would forever say forever. At the funeral, we all gathered. Emily flew in early. Sophie and Ricky cried together. Jaden and Timothy stood in silence. Mr. Zachary broke down. We held hands, prayed, and let the tears fall. It didn't matter that we were just teenagers. What we had was real, and losing him was real too. Years passed. The world moved on. We grew older. Life changed. But I couldn't, not fully, because some hearts never heal the same way, and some people, you don't stop loving. Now, 25 years later, I sit quietly with a photo in my hand. The one from Ward's Lake where we stood shoulder to shoulder, smiling like nothing could ever go wrong. I still cry, not every day, but often, when it rains. When I pass by someone with his gentle smile, when I hear a certain old love song, I never fell in love again. I couldn't, because my heart still remembers him, and I know one day I'll see him again. I'll hug him, tell him everything, and maybe, in that place where sorrow no longer exists, we'll get the forever we never had. For some love stories, the ending isn't goodbye. It's I'll see you again. The end.